Morning everybody, it's Bishop from Student Education with the 4 Major Notice update for the 5th of April 2011. Just looking at the Euro-US dollar on our CTC strategy templates, and you'll notice that the trend is up, trading above the 20 period moving average as well as the 50, and we are now testing, well, we saw a test of a previous high at 14,500. This is testing previous highs that we saw back in early November of last year, so we are trading at an all-time high resistance. And if you look at a longer time frame as a weekly, you'll see even further resistance or support way back in early December of last. So clear indication that there's a ceiling level here that it needs to breach. CTC is now being squeezed. You can see it squeezing within a pattern now, so that's going to be your area where price will need to break through. Ideally what we want to see is a nice bullish engulfing pattern to break higher than that to confirm. I think we could see a possible consolidation for a couple of days and then a further spurt to the upside. Failure to break above 1425 going into the rest of this week would clearly confirm that we now reached an exhaustion stage, and then we could see price reverting back to the downside. Ideally we could look at a possible target being the 1500 mark, the trend line in this case. So one thing to remember is yesterday's indecision doji, the low, take the low as a confirmation area. If it goes into the US session and is trading lower than that low of yesterday, then you're definitely looking for consolidation and then intraday and then further spurt to the downside. If it holds ground and stays above the low from yesterday and moves further and reattempts 14,500, then we could definitely see that as a clear indication of a possibility of a further reattempt of the ceiling and a possibly breakout. So on the 4 hour I've just marked that area in, and do that for all your smaller time frames. So think of it as a target, what price needs to do prior for you to actually placing a trade. So 19.6. So I'm just going to do it on our smaller time frames. There we go. That's on our 30 minutes, and I'm going to do the same thing on our 15 minutes. Okay, so as long as price remains above this area, because that was yesterday's low, you can clearly see that support in both times. And yes, so the latter part of this morning on the Asian market we saw a break below that, but it's now reclaimed higher. It bodes well for it. I'd rather see it trading above this level here. It's a definite confirmation that we could see it's consolidating still at a high point, and we could see a reattempt of that. Just be aware though that we're having lower swings. These highs are lower than the previous one, and we're going into some sort of squeeze pattern now. So what we're looking for is a potential breakout. Notice that the CTC on our bigger time frames, i.e. our 4 hour and our daily, are still blue. However, when we start going to the intraday time frames, primarily our hourly's gone negative, 30 minutes negative, 15 and 5. 5 is very it's going sideways and a lot of indecision. You can see a lot of red and blues across the board on CTC as well as on the chart itself. On the 15 minutes, you can see we went negative after that huge negative down candle just after the Asian market open, and by doing so it formed a lower swing. What we want to see now is if prices to fail to trade higher, it needs to close lower than the 14.196 mark, and ideally to see that on a 30-minute time frame close. You can see it now as it tests. So break the Asian market low. There you go, at this level, roughly about the 14.1897 mark. Then we could definitely look for further downside movement because of that, because now it's broken this little squeeze pattern. It's trading lower than yesterday's low, the Asian market low as well, and we've now formed a lower swing around a price support, so we should be looking for further downside movement for this pair. Next up is cable. Just let me look at the daily time frame. 1600 is our support and resistance level for this long term, and you notice we've had resistance in the past, support, 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 support. So a lot of support on the 1600, and the longer it takes to go sideways along this area and fails to break lower, then it just bodes well in terms of possibility of possible further move to the upside. Price yesterday also closed like its European counterpart on a spinning top, very indecisive. Trading range was quite insignificant, but you'll notice that we happened to close higher than the 2 moving averages at that time. However, on the Asian market, we've now seen price reverting to the downside of that, and it's trading a mixed signal. The candle we've seen selling right from the word go. It's popped its head back up on the Asian market slightly, but the European session open this morning, we've seen it trading lower than yesterday's low, testing yesterday's low. Okay, you can see this is a daily chart, guys. So ideally, if this is to remain bearish, we wanted to close lower than yesterday's low, as well as the Asian low, which is ideally what we want. Okay, so it's got to close lower than 16,1100 for possible further downside movement, but by doing so, they'll be trading lower on the candle itself, and it'll be forming a swing which is lower than that one. Okay, so daily, long term, still bullish on the CTC. This would be classified as long as it's trading above 1600, then we should be looking for possible longs. Intraday, however, you can see the CTC 4 hours has been negative. We've had a bounce, as I mentioned, on 1600, which was a strong support area. So we put those in just to confirm that is a definite support. It's got to be trading lower than that on a bigger time frame. Definitely confirm that the institutional are definitely in the process of shorting this. In our small time frames, we have blue on our 30 minutes, just gone red on our hourly. However, as I mentioned, we've got to look at the previous low of the day, and you can see here, for example, there's definitely a support area. However, the moving averages and the momentum swings are negative, so squeezing as we've got into the European session this morning. So what we need now is a definite confirmation break and close lower. Ideally the low of this morning, the candle that's forming now, or the Asian market low. So if you can see it close at the bottom of this candle here, for example, here roughly around the 16, 15, 17 mark, so the low of this candle here. Okay, and by doing so, it'll close lower than this actual swing here, and we should see further opportunities of getting some momentum to the downside. If it stays above this level, however, then it just bodes well for the pair, and we could see possibly another reattempt of the high that is posted on the day, on the previous day high of the indecision candle, and we should be looking at our first protocol opportunity, the high of yesterday's candle, as a target. So it'll be 1800. So pips to be made to the upside because of that. Okay, so just put a box, put your alerts on. Got to see price close lower than that level here that I mentioned to see further extensions to the downside. If I found support here, then obviously look at that 30-minute chart as a squeeze occurring, definite squeeze occurring here. You can see bar this fake idea, you can see the momentum is to the downside. Okay, so we know price direction is to the downside because of that. Okay, and if you can break higher or trade higher than the 50 period moving average going into the latter part of this morning's trading or into the US session, it only means that we could see further extensions or reattempts of prior highs. So that's a ceiling level here that we need to break above yesterday's high, or this morning's high, Asian market high, at roughly about the 16.13.5 mark, and then we could see a reattempt at 16.1800. Next up is the Swiss franc, US dollar against Swiss franc, and yesterday, similar to both these two pairs, the euro and sterling, more movement but indecisive nonetheless. This pair has tested a prior support area, and we did see the Swiss franc trading higher than that support area yesterday after a number of days of failing to break higher than the 0.92500 mark. However, it didn't close higher, and we've seen Asian market take it lower during that period, during the Asian market session, and European session is still taking it slightly lower. So indecisive at the moment, and failed to gain any ground to the upside after attempting that level and failing to actually stick at that level and close lower. See how important it is to actually wait for the candle. So if this candle closed higher, then we could have seen a definite indication of further upside movement because it's trading higher than a prior resistance or support area in this case, and failure to do so has seen the Asian market take that momentum and take it lower. The European session is also sitting at the bottom of that trading range. CTC on the daily is still negative, as you can quite clearly see. The CTC arrow has gone, we have got a blue arrow and blue candles, but the CTC on either side is still negative. 50 period moving average is still trading above as a ceiling level. So long term, we still should be looking for possibility of further downside movement. The only good thing about this is we have a higher swing high, and you can see price is testing that trend line, now intermediate trend line on this time frame, the daily. See that we've got a swing high, swing high, swing high, and price is trading. So we've got a nice big squeeze now. So we should see potential breakout either side, and that's what we clearly got to wait for now. Same on the 4-hour, you can see. Let me get this right. The more touches, the stronger the trend. You'll notice bar these breakouts. So swing high, swing high, swing high, swing high, swing high, all swinging higher. And the 9.25 is the resistance level from yesterday. I mentioned on a daily, and we're going to be trading higher than that to confirm further upside movement. Or it's got to break this uptrend to confirm resistance level, exhaustion candle resistance at 925 to see reattempts to the downside, and then we could look at potential targets to that. So ideally trading lower than this prior resistance level and support around the 0.925 mark, sorry, 9205 mark, and then we could look at potential targets being here for one, because you've had a price support and resistance and support at this level at 0.915, and below that another consolidation roughly here at 0.9056, and ultimately right down back to the lower swings that we saw back on the 17th at 0.898. Okay, see, I'm putting it all together. So make sure we see a definite close lower than 0.9214 ish. US dollar against Japanese yen is the last pair for this morning. And in the daily time frame, you'll notice this pair has just gained a lot more strength, loads of strength, as time has gone on since we had the intervention from the Japanese government, as well as a lot of the other countries out there. Selling the yen and purchasing dollars has seen the price pull back. We've seen a climb, and the 100 period moving average, or 100% move, is our ideal target for this pair. is 100 at just over the 8500 mark, or ideally we can see the breakout high that we saw prior in November and December, late December of in September of last year, apologies, at 8600 being our target. If you can hold its ground above here, notice that there's a clear resistance level over a large part of November, late November and middle of December of last year. Very strong resistance level, and now we're testing that. It's got to get above all that. So ideally today, if it closes higher, would be a definite confirmation signal that we're going to have further longs for this pair. Intraday, you can see the consolidation. Clearly some support area at 8400, and as long as it can stay above 8400, because we're in a positive uptrend, that could be just classified as a consolidation area, and then we could see further moves to the upside. Notice the swings higher as prices moved up since this breakout. So swing high, swing high, swing high. So definitely a trend here, very strong. A lot of buying momentum in this has caused a strong move to the upside. Look at the moving averages, well spaced out, confirming a strong uptrend since we saw the breakout after the intervention. So we had negative intervention, that momentum continued, then we saw price moving sideways for a while. It broke higher than a prior support area, found support above a 20 period moving average, confirming upside moving. So breakout, consolidation, and then continuation to the upside because of that. And that's what we need to do. And see if price can still stay above 8400. We'll definitely confirm that price is still looking for further upside movement. You'll notice just a couple of days, or yesterday's, on a 4-hour candle we had a bar signal. So ideally we want to be trading higher than this candle starts with, and then we should be looking for opportunities to at least the high of this candle, this very long elongated exhaustion candle, as possible target, first target. All our small time frames, because we're in a very positive uptrend for this pair, should be blue and are showing blue. So looking for an opportunity would mean looking for a break above the Asian high. You've got a ceiling level at 84.40 to start with, or if you want to go for 84.45 and look at, or ideally if you really want to and you're looking for a really positive move, then you wouldn't trade this until it's actually trading above 84.75 or 73 at least. Make it 75 to be definite, but if you're looking for intraday opportunities, quick scalping opportunities, wait for the 84.40 to be breached, and then the momentum is up because your trend line direction for this time frame is up. As long as trading on this side of the trend line and the moving averages and the CTCs in our favor, then we should be looking for opportunities to the upside. That's it for today, guys. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Make sure that everything's in your favor, everything lines up, and then you're taking your trades accordingly. Make sure your stop loss management, everything goes in hand with your money management. Don't place it anywhere. Make sure you have a clear direction and place it below the prior swing to give you the confirmation. Look for trend direction. A strong trend will mean that the price swing would act as a really strong support area, and let the market do its thing. Trade serenely.